Hi everyone, Mike the MC, bringing another self-care video. Today I'm going to share with you number 296 of the Catechism with respect to God creating from nothing and why that is so significant in itself. That sort of power that is beyond the human comprehension. What really separates us from comprehending God from our small mind to that of the magnificent, the most majestic, perfect mind that no one could ever think about. The idea here is, with respect to our lives, we may not have the right idea at the right time, but sometimes we need that inspiration. And the inspiration could come from somewhere. And that same inspiration is what allows us to move forward. And I would argue where God, just out of his loving free will, made everything. There's an inspiration to everything. And I feel that is where the driving force for love really can be used to do good things. So let me share with you number 296 of the Catechism and share the following. So 296, where God creates out of nothing, states the following. We believe that God needs no pre-existent thing or any help in order to create, nor is creation any sort of necessary emanation from the divine substance. God creates freely out of nothing. Now this is a quote from St. Theophilus of Antioch. If God had drawn the world from pre-existent matter, what would be so extraordinary in that? A human artisan makes from a given material whatever he wants, while God shows his power by starting from nothing to make all he wants. Wow, what a beautiful comparison between humanity and God. The fact is, you and I, we look at all these materials in our world with the human eye, the existence, the things that we uncover in the ground, in the cave, the ocean, in the mountains, right? We can find all the resources of the world. Here's the thing though. Those resources are only visible in this existence, where with God, from nothing, you wonder, okay, how is this possible, right? And you could even bring up so many directions about this. So one curious question would be kind of like this idea of metal detecting. You're trying to find the resource, right? You're trying to set the tune, the frequency, whatever, the radar on the actual device to find the gold, nickel, whatever, copper on the metal detecting device, and then you find it, right? But here's the thing. God does not have to find the material that he needs to create you and I, right? He just uses it, just like, boom. So you wonder, wow, where is that material? Or is it even what we would define, you and I, material to make from out of nothing, really something? And you wonder, all right, what can that be? But that's where I bring up this idea of inspiration. There's an inspiration to moving in life, an inspiration to do things. And sometimes I was always curious where God made everything out of his love, his free will, right? Perhaps it was something of a bit of, I want to see something more. Maybe God really just loved creation to allow it to be and to just exist. And you think, wow, what a wonderful gift it is now to experience all of this in this reality. The fact that you and I can be around the world to talk with people who maybe not even know God, who may not even understand what it's like to love another person or have a faith, to have parents, to have people who look up to you, right? Because you could be the role model. You could be the one that everyone looks up to you, and people are like, oh, hey, who are you? Oh, I'm the jokester. Hey, look, I just tapped you in behind the back. You didn't even know that. And you're wondering, okay, that's kind of random, but that's also kind of a bit of your character. Where does that inspiration come from? And the inspiration, I would argue, is the driving force behind love. And that love can be as it is, of course. But with inspiration, you're guiding the love. You're directing the love to create for a purpose. And the purpose really is surrounded by that inspiration. The purpose is love, of course, but inspiration is a motivation. It's a guiding factor. And now you may argue, okay, does God need motivation just to be who he is and what he wants to do? And I would argue, well, for the time that he sees existence in this world in reality, right, there's the interactions of the world. But then you get to say, oh, well, what about free will? What about his promise not to influence human abilities and actions? So the thing I would argue there is where God is in the world, and yet there's a dynamic between him and us. And so I cannot explain the limitations of free will, what we can and cannot do, the law of faith, law of God to the most divine degree. But I can argue that inspiration is what really helps us communicate with him as the Father to the Son and the Son to the Father, where we as children are always wanting to talk with someone greater when we are really in a deep trouble, when we really want things to be fixed. Maybe we went through a divorce, we lost a house, lost a good friend, we lost our home, we lost our pets, our dog, our cat, whatever, and the situation is very sad, and you think, okay, is there any good going to come out of this situation? How can there be? Maybe I just lost everything. Maybe I just want to give up and not do anything more for my life and just be lazy and settle down. But the thing is, that doesn't have to be the answer to everything, right? To move away, to take another step forward, to find a way out of your situation, it takes incredible energy to do so if you have been given the opportunity. So take it and use it to be inspired to do good things. And I feel with God's inspiration, he made creation right here, right now, taking that opportunity. And you can say, oh, he could do it anytime. Of course he can. But the fact is, you and I exist right now in this opportunity. So it's a reflection of love that was used in this moment that you and I exist in right now today. So keep that in mind, that inspiration is an important factor with creation and inspiring us to get beyond our negative situations and circumstances, to get away from bad people and bad places, but to always remember that you and I can love others and do what is right, and that we ourselves are very much important in another person's life, but you and I have to find that inspiration from within to do good as well. Things to consider. All right, everyone, hope this one finds you well at number 296 of the Catechism. Don't give up on yourself. Remember that you and I are made in this moment of creation, in this opportune moment where God has made everything. So love and give thanks to God. Now give thanks for the opportunities that you and I can do today, and probably do some good work, make some other creations that can help humanity. Always work from a place of humility and love to create for good, not for destruction, but more importantly, for the protection of humanity, and to dignify you and I and the world together, and make sure that we are good co-creators, guardians, guardians of the world that we live in. So that way we are good role models for those that we take care of. Things to consider. All right, everyone, hope this one finds you well. Take care. Have a good one.